Hey everyone, Mr. MCA here. This is a lap guide for the new lap time challenge taking place at Suzuka Circuit with any Group 2 car. For this video, we'll be using the 2016 Honda NSX Concept GT, also known as the Red Brick NSX. So going over to Sport Mode, make sure you have menu book number 9 to access Sport Mode and access the online time trial, as the laptop challenge will be hanging out over here. So this is a 2-week event ending at the end of August 30th, 2023. We're on the racing medium tires and BOP is turned on, tuning is disabled. And your goal is to get within 3% of the world record time when the event ends, as when the event ends, that's when your lap time gets counted. And if you're within the 3% time range of the world record time, you'll get the 2 million credits. I'll have the link to the replay or my replay in the description down below if you want to check it out. But otherwise, let's go ahead and get this started. So as you're getting started with your new lap, go towards the left side of the track, as you'll have a bit more space to build up a bit more speed. That way you'll get a faster start to your new lap. So just like that, go ahead and go towards the left side of the track. Now your first braking point is just after you start turning in. So this path on the left is your turning point, and shortly after you start to turn in, that's where you want to start to do a lot of trail braking. So you're going to do a lot of braking control because you need to slow down while still being able to turn at the same time, so you can go through these first 2 turns. So controlling my braking power so I can still turn in while I'm slowing down, and just trying to carry as much speed as possible, making use of this car's downforce, and carefully get back on the throttle. For these 2 parts of the S's, I use just a tiny bit of braking, so just like a little tap. That way I can adjust my turn in for these 2 parts of the S's. Then just a little bit of throttle control through this left turn. But for this right turn, this is where you want to use a little more braking because you want to hug the right side of the track. So around 40 to 50% braking power, stay towards the right, because for this turn, you're turning in when the sector starts, and just doing a little bit of throttle control because it is possible to just understeer off the track if you're not careful enough. So you will need to do a little lifting off our throttle there. For Degner 1, you're braking and turning in just before the 50-meter board, taking advantage of the curves as you're still within track limits. Then brake again before the curb on the left ends. You're turning in just after that curb ends, going down to 2nd gear for more rotation, but exit on 3rd gear, and just be really careful getting on the throttle. Really easy to be impatient on the throttle and end up spinning out. Now for the hairpin, you're braking when the curb on the right ends. You're going to go down to 1st gear and bring yourself in towards the hairpin. As you hit the apex, go up to 2nd gear and just be really gentle getting back on the throttle, and kind of just wait until you have the car pointing where you want to go before you start to fully accelerate. Stay towards the right because your next braking point for the spoon curves is just before you approach this path that is on the right. So full braking power for a short while, turning in after the 50-meter board. Go down to 3rd gear, bring yourself towards the right, brake before the curb on the right ends. You can go down to 2nd gear for a bit more rotation, but you exit on 3rd gear, and you're waiting until the curb on the left ends before you start to fully accelerate your way out. But you still want to be careful because coming out of the spoon curves, it's still possible to spin out if you get on the throttle a little too early. For 130R, this turn is pretty easy. Just go flat out through here. Just try to bring yourself towards the left side of the track because your next braking point is right as you pass the 150-meter board. Full braking power, turning in after the 50-meter board. Take advantage of the red and white curves as you're still within track limits, and just be really careful getting on the throttle. Bring yourself towards the right to minimize track distance, and that is it for this part of the lap guide. So we'll go through this again, but this time I will not stop the video. Alright, so going towards the left side of the track to get a bit more track distance and build a bit more speed, use the path on the left as your turning point and start to do a lot of braking control. So you're doing a lot of trail braking as you go through these first 2 turns. So being really careful getting back on the throttle. Little taps on the brakes to adjust the turn in for these 2 parts of the S's. A little bit of throttle control, but then brake for this right turn as you want to stay towards the right side of the track. Just being really careful getting back on the throttle. Little lift off of the throttle as it's really easy to just end up going off the track if you don't do enough throttle control. Braking before the 50-meter board for Degner 1. Braking before the curb on the left ends for Degner 2. Just getting back on the throttle as soon as you can, but you have to be really careful getting back on the throttle as these cars do pack a lot of power. Brake when the curb on the right ends and go down to first gear for the hairpin, but you're exiting on second gear. Just trying to get the car straightened up as soon as you can so you can get back on the throttle. Stay towards the right side of the track, braking before you push the path that is on the right. Go down to third gear, brake before the curb on the right ends. Go down to second gear for a bit more rotation, but exit on third gear. Just be nice and careful getting on the throttle. Really easy to spin out of the spoon curves. Then bring yourself towards the right because you're taking 130R flat out. Yeah, pretty easy turn right here. Bring yourself towards the left, brake right as you pass the 150-meter board, and take advantage of the curves as you're still within track limits. Just be nice and careful getting back on the throttle. Bring yourself towards the right to minimize track distance, and that is it for this lap guide. So yeah, this combination is not my cup of tea, as high downforce cars are definitely not my thing. So that's going to be it for this lap guide. And yeah, I'm going to go now. So take care, everyone. This is Mr. MCA, the world's most okay player, and I'll see you in the next video.